At Schechter Manhattan, we believe that people learn best when they engage directly with ideas, with phenomena in the world, with texts, with problems, and then collaborate together to figure those things out. In a Schechter Manhattan classroom, you see students working in groups, sometimes on the floor, sometimes at tables, and teachers facilitating learning activities to help the students take ownership of that learning. That approach is uniquely consistent in our school, from GON all the way through 8th grade, in our general studies and in our Jewish studies. We aspire for Schechter Manhattan graduates to be critical thinkers who can see connections across ideas, who can ask probing questions, who can analyze ideas that they approach in their learning. It's that questioning that helps them hone in on the things they don't know yet and what they want to learn next.
As a Jew, in Ruchi's Talmud class, I was questioning. I was being a critical thinker. I was being challenged.
One of the most powerful moments at Schechter Manhattan is after a student gives a presentation, all of their peers then ask them questions about what they've studied. I see that you've learned something, and now I'm going to ask you a question that's going to help further my understanding and further your learning as well.
The topics we were talking about were heavy topics. My teacher would always be telling me these are texts that college-level students can't even grasp, but that doesn't make it okay for you to not grasp them.
The Lieberman Family STEAM Center is building on the student-centered and active learning that we've always done at Schechter Manhattan. And the opportunities that the STEAM Center is giving our students to build and design and to think like engineers are helping them become ready to be the problem solvers of the 21st century.
I started this program at the Natural History Museum, and I have a paid internship there in data science, and it's at the intersection of science and computer science. Bringing it back to Schechter, that's something that happened a lot here. Teachers would find that one intersection of things, like how art played into math, that made me go back and learn more about art and math. It was just that one thing to catch my interest.
When the folks in the field of education talk about 21st century skills and the things that are necessary for our young people to be successful in the future, they start with collaboration, and that's something we've done at Schechter Manhattan throughout the school's history.
Collaboration is a big part of the daily life, the daily routine, which really helped in working with other people and building common goals.
When I'm in class and I'm working with my peers, I might get a worksheet and I might think, like, the questions on this worksheet, they're pretty interesting, but I don't want to answer them alone, and I'll turn to the people around me and I'll work with them.
That means students get enculturated to the idea that I might be good at this part of the project, the reading, but someone else on the team might be good at the creativity and coming up with new ideas. In that way, I learn from you and you learn from me, and all of us learn more than we would have if we had been doing it alone.
And I think constructive criticism is another thing that I've learned how to take a lot better, and also something that I've learned how to give, but I don't think I would have had the confidence to give it without all the collaborative learning I've done since kindergarten.
One of the most critical skills that Schechter Manhattan graduates can take with them for their success at the next level of schooling and in their lives is self-reflection, the ability to look inward and say, what are my strengths and what are the things I still need to work on?
I think throughout 7th grade, I was just constantly discovering passions based off of things I was learning in the classroom.
The practice our students have at reflecting on their academic life transfers powerfully to their reflections on who they want to be as people. And at the end of their time here, our students produce a graduation exhibition in which they reflect on the experiences they've had here at Schechter Manhattan, the things they've learned, the values that they espouse, and then set goals for the type of students and human beings and Jews they want to be as they move on to the next phase of their life's journey.
My dream was I want to be some type of lawyer, something in the humanities, and that project really struck that for me.
One of the things that I think is really motivating for students at Schechter Manhattan is the choice and the voice they have in their educational learning process. Kindergarten kids in a Unionat Oceans choosing their own animal that they want to study about, or 6th graders picking a mitzvah and see what it means to them. And because they get to have that voice in what they're learning, they're motivated to engage in it deeply and to really explore it in ways that are meaningful to them. Schechter Manhattan graduates have wholly integrated American and Jewish identities. They know who they are.
And so yeah, I think going forward, something that I'm more determined to do is create more communities like the community at Schechter Manhattan.
The core values that have guided Schechter Manhattan through our short history, student-centered learning, vibrant Jewish living, Menschlichkeit, have produced young people who I am super proud of. They reflect all of our aspirations, and I believe they are going to be the future leaders of the American Jewish community and positive agents for change in the world.